Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to find a story in the numbers. Today we are diving deep into Service Corporation International's latest 10K filing. And let me tell you, it's a doozy. It reads like a classic American success story with a touch of the inevitable complexities that come with running a business of this size. Before we get too lost in the details, if you like getting straight to the heart of what really matters in these filings, then hit that subscribe button. And hey, if you want to chat about this stuff with fellow enthusiasts, the link to our Discord community is right in the description below. This is the big annual report, a Form 10K for the year ending the 31st of December 2025. Think of it as the company telling its life story for the year, covering everything from what they do to how much money they made, how they plan to make more, and all the risks that keep them up at night. Service Corporation International, or CI as we can call them, is the giant of death care in North America. They operate funeral homes and cemeteries across the US and Canada, and they are basically the biggest player in town. So what does this humongous company actually do? Well, they handle funerals, cremations, and cemetery plots. They sell services and merchandise when people need them now, which they call at need, but also way ahead of time on a pre-need basis. This pre-need business, it's a really big deal for them. Now that's a staggering number, a backlog of $17 billion in future funeral and cemetery contracts. This means a ton of their revenue is already lined up for years to come. It's like having a massive pre-order list for something everyone will eventually need. This pre-need business not only secures future revenue, but also gives them a huge advantage in planning and managing their operations. Let's jump straight into the money. In 2025, the company raked in $542.6 million in profits. That's a nice chunk of change, and it's up from $518.6 million in 2024. So financially, things are looking up. The profit per share also went up. This is a good sign, showing the company is becoming more profitable. Breaking down the revenue streams, cemetery operations brought in $1.9 billion, while funeral operations pulled in $2.4 billion. So funerals are still their main cash cow, but the cemetery business is substantial and growing. Looking at their comparable operations, which means comparing the same stores year over year, cemetery revenue went up by 1.6% to $1.89 billion. This suggests their core cemetery business is strong and holding its own. Funeral revenue also saw a healthy increase of 3.5% to $2.4 billion. This shows that even with the trend towards cremations, their funeral services are in demand. Now let's talk about how much money they actually keep from those sales. Funeral gross profit jumped up by 6.6% to nearly $496 million. This is great news because it not only means they are selling more, but they are also managing their costs effectively to keep more of that revenue. The cemetery segment wasn't left behind either, with gross profit increasing by 3% to over $644 million. So they are making more money and keeping more of it across all their main business lines. Now, no company is without its risks, and CI is no different. They carry a significant amount of debt. In fact, they have over $5 billion in debt and finance leases. While they were in compliance with their debt covenants, which are basically rules they have to follow about how much debt they can have this level of borrowing, is still something to watch. It means a big chunk of their future earnings will go towards paying off that debt and interest. In today's world, cybersecurity is a huge concern for any company, especially one that handles so much sensitive personal information. CI clearly acknowledges this. They have a whole section dedicated to their cybersecurity strategy. They invest in protecting their systems and data from cyber attacks. This is good to see because a major data breach could be devastating for their reputation and their customers. While most of their business is in the US, they do have operations in Canada, which make up about 5% of their revenue. They point out that these Canadian operations face similar risks to their US business, but also have their own unique challenges and costs. This is something to keep an eye on if you're following their international performance. Here is an interesting point. The company highlights that a longer life expectancy and more cremations could actually hurt their revenue. Why, you ask? Well, cremations on average bring in less money than traditional burials. So while more people living longer is generally good, more cremations could mean less profit per customer. They are trying to combat this by pushing cremation memorialization products, which is smart, but it is still a factor that could dampen their growth. Looking at the big picture, CI is a stable company operating in a relatively recession-proof industry. People will always need their services regardless of the economic climate. Their massive pre-need backlog is a huge strength, providing a predictable stream of future revenue. Their management seems to be navigating the challenges like rising cremation rates and debt with a clear strategy, focusing on growth through acquisitions and shareholder returns through dividends and buybacks. The market certainly seems to believe in CI, with a shareholder value well over $11 billion, showing investor confidence. Overall, CI appears to be a well-managed company in a unique industry. They are capitalizing on their scale and pre-need contracts to build a highly predictable business. While debt is a factor to monitor and the cremation trend presents a headwind, their ability to grow revenue and profit in core segments is impressive. They are effectively balancing the business of death with sound financial management and strategic foresight. Alright, that's our deep dive into Service Corporation International's latest filing. What do you think? Are they well positioned for the future, or are there storm clouds on the horizon? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis helpful, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more corporate dissections. And seriously, if you want to join the conversation and get even more insights, check out the Discord link in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.